The Norse trilogy, something I wanted to do from day one. I'm pretty sure Rob too. It was the idea of doing all those Norse things in one great story. And by the way, I recently read something about Beowulf, that it was that the author of Beowulf, the anonymous author of Beowulf, actually used historical characters from different eras and mythical characters all together working at the same time. Sound familiar?
Are you Xena?
Yeah, who wants to know?
My name is Beowulf.
You got business with me, Beowulf?
When we decided to do these 3 Norse episodes, we took Nibling's The Ring, kind of Wagner's The Ring, which was the base, and took elements of that there's this ring. Then we combined that with Beowulf to create a Xena episode that Xena is responsible for stealing the ring, which in turn created Grendel.
It looks good on me. Don't you think?
And then Xena comes back and rectifies that situation at the end of 3 episodes.
This mission is so dangerous, I'm afraid I won't survive. And I can't ask you to die with me once again. Whatever happens, know that my love for you is endless, Xena.
And of course, this is the real version as told by the Xena Scrolls. You know, we are actually redefining what those stories are about.
I thought you just wanted to do it because we hadn't built those sets before and just wanted to screw with us again.
That too.
We couldn't go back to where we'd been before, but there you go.
Yeah. It also, I think, too, both Rob and I always felt if we didn't do an episode where Xena's a Valkyrie, you know, we're doing Xena Warrior Princess, you know, it just seemed like such a thing to do. So that was a visual thing we wanted to do.
You're not from around here, I take it?
No.
Well, these women that ride the flying horses, they're called Valkyries.
Yeah, did you ever hear that Rob or Lucy saw a Valkyrie in some park somewhere, and that was the inspiration for this?
You know, I hadn't heard that, but if there are Valkyries in parks in
Not that
in
I
New Zealand.
know. Maybe they're in Des Moines or something. The interesting thing about that is that you have to do something that had never been done on television before. So we had to create, once again, a situation where we knew we were going to have to use digital effects sometimes, and then we would cheat closer and use real horses and use fake horse heads and everything we needed to do. So like we had done so often in the past, you just have to storyboard a sequence out to know what you really need to get. And each shot will tell the story of how you need to achieve it. So it was a combination of a whole bunch of different tricks in order to achieve the fairly seamless amalgamation of what actually exists in the script.
This one, here. She looks different from the rest.
Yes. Now, what was her name?
Xena.
When we were working on the story, we knew that we needed somebody to come for Gabrielle to talk to on her quest. So the character of Broomhilda as the somebody who pretends to be one thing and turns out to be another, but ultimately makes a supreme sacrifice for their love for another person.
Please, will you tell me what you know?
She came to us from a distant land in the east. She called it Chin.
Yeah!
We call it the land that sent us a demon.
We had Xena, who had the ability to kill the gods, and now we were going to introduce her to the Norse gods and get to play around with them, and it was also a way to do evil Xena yet again.
I am Odin, king of the Norse gods. It is my duty to bring peace to the Norse country. Yet, as I sit in Valhalla and watch the bitter struggle called life on this earth, I ask, are we doomed to live in a constant state of endless conflict?
Damn straight. That's what makes life so worth living.
Conflict is life. So when Xena embraces conflict, she is embracing life, because that's what life is. Regardless of what your ideal of it is, how much you might go meditate in a corner or try to escape it, ultimately life is conflict. So I think she's embracing life when she embraces conflict.
Greed is one of the fundamentals of life. It's like sex. It's like the will to power. It's survival.
Greed, of course, is a choice. Her idea of greed is she loves the challenge and the conflict brought about by trying to acquire as much of life as she can. Because, you know, it's not just money when she talks about greed. It's all the experiences that come with it. And so it's sort of an extension of the same thing. It's a very, very life-loving, Zorbatic point of view, but just in a very dark, diabolic way.
I'd never heard Zorbatic before, but that was very good. I like that.
It brings up an interesting point about when Xena kills and when she doesn't kill. As much as we paint her as this dark character, there's always something working in her choices, and her choices to let someone live. There was consequences and logic that went into that, and her choices to kill. And we're talking about the Xena of old, the evil Xena. Obviously, the Xena, the hero of our series, kills as little as as little as possible, but the dark Xena, there is a sort of a mad logic to it. So I don't think she would kill, in this case, she didn't have to kill this person. And so, you know, why do it? It in a way removes an interesting adversary. We just talked about conflict earlier. That's more conflict for her later on. So I don't think she kills. I don't think it's necessary to ask the question why she doesn't kill people. I think the more interesting one is why was she so angry? Why did she kill as many people as she did as the Dark Xena?
Perhaps if there was any one thing that could have sunk these 3 episodes, is we relied a great deal on rubber beasts to carry the bad guy, and rubber beasts look like that which they are, rubber beasts. I actually thought that the guys did a really good job of making the directors did a good job of only showing a certain amount of the monster to keep it somewhat mysterious. And the guys at K&B who created it came up with an interesting take on Grendel. I hate to revert to rubber monsters, but there was really no other way to get around that. It's part of the tale. And after we had done Family Affair, where we had another rubber beast, but very emotional moments with that rubber beast, I was not scared off of those rubber moments as much as I have in the past. What works if you're going to do a rubber beast is to give it really human qualities so that the humanness comes out rather than the rubberness.
Brunhilde, look inside your heart. Find the woman you once were.
Xena doesn't kill the monster because she knows the monster is Grunhilde, and so, you know, it's a moral decision of hers to not kill the monster. She wants to correct her wrongs. I mean, one of the themes of the series is Xena doubling back to correct the bad things she did in the past.
My best friend, my family.
Hey, I just saved your life. I'm not the little girl that my parents wanted me to be.
It's hard to be alone.
You're not alone.
The kiss was, ideal for Xena Warrior Princess, the series, because first of all, it was mythically correct, but also it fit our characters and our characters' needs and desires so perfectly. So it was a great summation of that trilogy. It was the perfect way to end it. So that was the great out of it. That story presented that to us.
Xena. Gabrielle. I dreamed you'd come back for me.
And in its own way, a great great love story, even though we didn't want to play any of the lovey-dovey stuff out of it. We just wanted the character to encounter that and act in a certain way that told us that they had those feelings.
It wasn't magic.
The fact that they never dwelled on the sweeter aspects of those, on the romance of it, I actually really enjoyed and thought it played great.
Beowulf. I'll always be indebted to you for bringing me back here.
I needed the best.
Everything we did is documented in the Xena Scrolls. So we were always just telling it like it is. We were correcting the impression that centuries of sexism has created by taking the credit away from Xena and giving it to all these pretender males.
All right. Get on!
I thought it was a very interesting story, script, and I thought it was realized very well. Sometimes one or two or three of those things don't work, and it crashes and burns, but in this case, it kind of worked.